Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Consider Jennifer Raw. I appreciate you being here. This is a space online where I'm a little bit more unscripted, a little bit more raw, a little bit more personal. And today I want to be a little bit more raw and personal, talking about the LinkedIn article that I wrote earlier this month in July on radical honesty. This is an incredibly important topic to me. One, because it's absolutely necessity if you are going to be leading yourself well. But I think more importantly is how it has influenced my understanding and my working definition of empathy. And it's just such, the moments that I've had around it that have been transformational are powerful. And so that's what I want to talk to you all about. That's what I want to share with you today. Um, about 3 or 4 years ago, I was going through one of the hardest times of my life. And I was laying in bed and it was early and the sun was just kind of peeking in through my window, and I needed to get up. I had to get my son ready for school. I needed to work. I needed to do lunch and plan dinner, all the things. And the only thing I wanted to do this day was roll over and never get out of bed again. It was a really bad day. I just I didn't want to get out of bed. And I was looking out the window and I thought to myself and said out loud, you need to get up. It doesn't matter how you feel. And two things happened in that moment when I said that to myself. One was the validation that that was fact. Like, it is true. I need to do this. It doesn't matter it doesn't matter how I feel. I need to do this. I mean, to not do it would have created consequences for myself that were unacceptable to me. I had a responsibility. And this responsibility was to things I had chosen for my life. Like, I chose to have children. That was my chosen responsibility. I chose to want to live in a house. That was a chosen responsibility. I had to do the thing if I wanted that to continue to happen, if I wanted to fulfill on those choices. So it was true. But the other thing that happened in that moment when I said that to myself is a flashback of a moment I had with my daughter several years earlier. So now we're talking about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. When I said something similar to her, she was dealing with something that she didn't want to have to do. And it was one of those, sometimes you got to do hard things. And I said to her, it's irrelevant. Your feelings about this are irrelevant. You need to do it. And she looked at me in that moment and said, when you say that to me, it makes me feel like you don't care about how I feel. Now, I'm very grateful for two things in that moment when she said that to me. First of all, I'm grateful that she felt safe enough to share it. But I'm also grateful that I was able to hear it without taking it personally and getting defensive. Because I do care about how she feels. I care about how she feels very much. And that really bothered me that she said that. And as I was reflecting on it, I realized that the reason she felt like I didn't care how she felt was because I completely negated her feelings. It was the way I was expressing it. I was trying to motivate her. Hey, you can do hard things. And she heard, your feelings don't matter. And the way I was putting my words together is what made her hear that. And so in that moment in my bedroom, when I didn't want to get out of bed, I realized that I had been telling myself that how I felt didn't matter for like 3 or 4 decades. 3 or 4 decades, 30 to 40 years, I had been telling myself What you feel doesn't matter. Now, there are all kinds of things wrong with that. And I'm not going to go into all of it today. But I can tell you one of the things that happens when you do that to yourself is you stop taking care of yourself. You put everybody else's needs ahead of yours to a point that it becomes unhelpful, right? This is a difficult balance for me because when I talk about self leadership, it isn't your needs matter than others. I don't believe that's true. It's your needs matter because if you don't take care of them, you can't take care of other people right. You can't do that well. And that does matter to me. And I think that that's why taking care of ourselves matter. Not because we deserve it, not that you don't, you do. I'm not trying to say that you don't. But it's not about you. Like humanity is about us and the contribution that we make towards that whole. And if you do that to the total exclusion of your own needs and desires and what makes you function well, you're no longer helping society. You're no longer helping your tribe. You're no longer helping your team, your group, your family, your friends. You're not helping anymore. You are contributing to a problem. And so the obligation is you have to get straight with you so that you can do what you need to do for others. This was a mind-blowing moment for me, y'all. I'm not going to lie, because the thought that I had been telling me that what I want and need doesn't matter for such a long time. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I cried in bed for a few minutes. But on the other side of some of those tears, what I came to was radical honesty is doing both. It's saying to yourself, in me, in that moment, I don't want to go out of bed. I don't want to get up. And I have obligations today that need to happen. So what am I going to do about it? That's how I came to my working definition of empathy, was this moment right here. I recognized that I still needed to give myself a little bit of compassion before I moved myself into taking care of getting my son ready for school. I needed to do both. It's about choosing healthy compartmentalization when it serves your purpose, when it serves your needs. And what I mean by that is sometimes you have to set aside feelings in order to productively engage in a real life situation. Brene Brown talks about this when she talks about vulnerability. Being vulnerable does not mean that you get to overshare with people who shouldn't know everything about you. There is discretion involved in that. And that discretion should be taken seriously. The same thing is true for this compartmentalization thing. In that moment, what I really wanted to do was just cry. And it was not the right time for me to be able to do that. And so this radical honesty is what allowed me to say, Jennifer, I hear you, and I know you're tired, and I know you work very hard, and I know you just want to sleep. And your son needs you this morning. So we're going to get up and we're going to do this because he needs to be the priority right now. And then I will make time to make you a priority. I will find space for you to rest today. I will find space where it's okay for you to cry. I will find a person where it is safe for you to share. And that is what that empathy looks like. I feel like staying in bed and I have to take care of my son. What are you going to do about it? It's not an avoidant conversation. It's not, I don't really feel however you feel. It's acknowledging that your feelings in that moment can't process safely, can't be held effectively, that this is just not the right time, y'all. And look, it's unfair. It sucks. And no one ever said life was fair. And that's where this comes from, because both things need to be happening at the same time. Radical honesty is what allows that to occur. You need to be honest with yourself about how you feel, because if you don't do that, if you ignore, or like I was doing, invalidate that your feelings matter, over a period of time, that causes real damage, not just to you, but to the people closest to you. It erodes your sense of self. It makes it so that it feels like you are unimportant, and you are so important. You just don't always have the luxury of like losing your shit all of the time just because you want to. It is, and it sucks, but it's the truth. And that is the most important thing as it relates to empathy for yourself and for others. Knowing where a person is at, and then choosing how you want to engage with those feelings based on all of the circumstances in your life that you need to manage. And so if you're at work and this comes up, like, at work is not the most appropriate time for you to lose your shit. Take a bathroom break or something, go for a drive, grab a coffee, whatever you need to do. But like, understand that it's not about ignoring or avoiding things, but it is about choosing proper time and place. And you need to be able to do both, because not doing one gets in the way of you doing the other in either direction. If it's too much of, I don't feel like it, so I'm not going to, you're going to have some nasty consequences, guaranteed. It's going to happen. If you choose, I don't feel this way, or my feelings don't matter, you are going to have some nasty consequences. I promise you, it's going to get nasty. The only way forward is to acknowledge both and find time and space to take care of both. Right now, the priority is getting up and taking care of my son and getting my day started. And at 12 o'clock, when I have an opportunity, I'm going to sit in a chair and I'm going to stare at the walls. You build it into your day. You find time to process and decompress and unplug and express your feelings in healthy and safe ways. And doing either one of those without the other is just an absolute recipe for disaster. It's just an absolute recipe for disaster. So that's really what this message is about this month. That radical honesty piece is about that. And getting more comfortable with being honest about how you really feel, and then what you're going to do about it so that it is beneficial for you and for everybody that you touch, everything that you come into contact with. Because if you don't take care of it, you're going to spread nastiness to others. And if you overextend into that space, you're going to spread nastiness to others. Be radically honest and find opportunities to do both. And it will really help a lot in alleviating pressure, managing overwhelm, and you will still be showing up as your best self for the people and things in your life that matter to you. I could talk about this for a very long time. It is a very important topic to me. I think it's something that we do poorly on whole, and doing it well makes an enormous difference in terms of how your day goes and just how you feel about yourself and life in general. It's very heavy, but it's very serious. And I hope you all take it seriously. So, this was a long video. This is what happens when we get unscripted. It could be 5 minutes, it could be 20. At any rate, I appreciate you hanging in with me today. I hope that this resonated. I hope it made sense. I'd love to know a little bit about maybe how this might show up for you day to day. Um, or if you have a story to share about a time when you have recognized this for yourself, I would love to hear about it and know more about what that's at. This is what we talk about here. If you want more, find me on social at Consider Jennifer. You're certainly welcome to go to my website at Consider Jennifer or considerjennifer.com. And I hope you guys have a really tremendous day, a great rest of your month. Practice all of that radical honesty because it's all about considering your life so you can be on purpose.